Have you ever wondered why, throughout history, the sun, our constant source of light and life, seemingly vanishes into darkness during a solar eclipse? From ancient China to the Viking Norse, cultures across the globe have spun captivating myths to explain this celestial mystery. In the vast expanse of China, people looked up to see a celestial dragon, Qianlong, attacking the sun. In their understanding, this dragon's insatiable hunger caused the solar eclipse. The Chinese word for eclipse, shi, even translates to eat, reflecting this belief. To drive away Qianlong and restore the sun's vital light, people would bang drums and make loud noises, a tradition echoing through generations. Meanwhile, in the lands of the Norse, a different predator was on the prowl. The monstrous wolf Skal was believed to chase the sun goddess Sol across the sky, a relentless pursuit culminating in a solar eclipse when Skal finally caught up. An eclipse was not just a hunt's end, but a dire omen, with some Vikings believing a complete eclipse heralded Ragnarok, the prophesied end of the world. Across the ocean, Native American tribes spun their own tales of celestial battles. The Ojibwe people told of a mischievous boy, Chicabes, who snared the sun, causing the world to plunge into darkness. This eclipse could only be lifted by the intervention of a humble mouse, freeing the sun and returning light to the world. These myths, diverse as they are, share a common thread: the concept of a celestial predator devouring the sun. This idea of a cosmic battle between light and darkness, good and evil, is a testament to our ancestors' attempts to understand and restore balance in the face of such a daunting celestial event. So the battle between light and darkness was not merely a natural phenomenon, but a clash of cosmic forces. It's a captivating reminder of how our ancestors viewed the world and their place within it, seeking to safeguard the sun's light amidst the darkness of a solar eclipse. But celestial beasts were not the only culprits. Some cultures saw solar eclipses as signs of divine displeasure. In the ancient world, the darkening of the sun was often interpreted as a sign of the god's wrath. In ancient Greece, for instance, solar eclipses were viewed as an omen of divine discontent, particularly directed towards the ruling class. The Greeks believed that the gods were showing their anger by obscuring the sun, a symbol of power and authority. To appease their deities and hasten the sun's return, people would make a cacophony by banging pots and pans, a primitive yet deeply symbolic form of prayer, you might say. A similar narrative unfolded in the sun-drenched lands of ancient Egypt. There, the sun god Ra was believed to be in a constant battle with Apophis, the serpent god of chaos and destruction. A solar eclipse was interpreted as a moment when Apophis got the upper hand, causing the sun to disappear. The Egyptians would then chant and make offerings, believing their actions could aid Ra in his celestial battle and help restore the natural order. Halfway across the world, the Inca Empire in South America held its own unique beliefs. They perceived a solar eclipse as the sun god Inti being imprisoned. To secure his release, the Incas would conduct elaborate ceremonies, often involving animal sacrifices. The goal was to appease the sun god and ensure his swift return, restoring the balance between the divine and the natural world. These ancient cultures, with their diverse myths and practices, share a common thread. They all saw the solar eclipse not just as a celestial event, but as a disruption in the delicate balance between humans and the divine. Through ritual and ceremony, they sought to appease their gods, restore harmony, and bring back the life-giving light of the sun. In these cultures, a solar eclipse was not just an astronomical event, but a disruption in the delicate balance between humans and the divine. For many, the sudden plunge into darkness during a solar eclipse was a harbinger of doom. This ominous transition from daylight to an unexpected night was viewed as a powerful omen foretelling disaster or misfortune. As the sun's reassuring light was swallowed by the moon's shadow, fear and superstition gripped the hearts of those who witnessed this celestial spectacle. In many cultures, there were specific fears associated with solar eclipses. Pregnant women were often at the center of these apprehensions. In India, for example, it was, and in some places still is, believed that an eclipse could harm an unborn child. Expecting mothers were advised to stay indoors, away from the blight of the eclipse, to safeguard their babies from any potential ill effects. The eclipse's influence was not confined to living beings alone. There was a widespread belief that the darkness of an eclipse could taint the food, too. In parts of India, people were cautioned against cooking or eating food during an eclipse. The food prepared during this time was considered to be contaminated, unfit for consumption. It was believed that consuming such food could lead to illness or misfortune. These beliefs might seem irrational to us today, but they reflect the deep-seated fear and uncertainty that our ancestors felt when faced with the inexplicable darkness of a solar eclipse. After all, the sun was a symbol of life, warmth, and prosperity. Its sudden disappearance, even temporarily, was bound to create a sense of dread and apprehension. It's worth noting that these fears weren't baseless superstitions. They were attempts to make sense of a complex and mysterious universe. They were efforts to find patterns, to predict the unpredictable, to instill a sense of order amidst the chaos. And while we now understand the scientific reasons behind a solar eclipse, these ancient beliefs remind us of our journey as a species, our quest for knowledge, and our enduring need to make sense of the world around us. These beliefs reflect the deep-seated fear and uncertainty that our ancestors felt when faced with the inexplicable darkness of a solar eclipse. Yet not all cultures viewed solar eclipses with fear and dread. Some saw it as an opportunity to influence fate. This belief is beautifully exemplified in some African cultures who, instead of cowering in fear, took proactive measures during solar eclipses. In certain parts of Africa, communities would come together in a cacophony of sound. They would shout, bang on drums, and create a symphony of noise. The purpose? To drive away the evil spirits believed to be causing the eclipse. This was not a moment of fear, but a collective stand against unseen forces. They believed that their actions could influence the celestial bodies, a testament to the human spirit's resilience and determination. But the most striking of all is perhaps the Batamalaba people, residing in the regions of Togo and Benin. For them, a solar eclipse was not a sign of an impending apocalypse or divine wrath. Instead, they saw it as a sign of conflict between the sun and the moon. The Batamaliba people believed that the sun and the moon were quarreling during an eclipse. This celestial conflict served as a symbolic reminder for them. It was a call for humans to resolve their own conflicts, to mend their relationships, and to restore harmony in their communities. They held the belief that their actions on Earth could influence the heavens. By resolving their disputes, they could help pacify the sun and the moon, ending the eclipse and restoring light. This belief led to the practice of holding festive reconciliation ceremonies during eclipses. These events were moments of mutual forgiveness, community bonding, and celebration. Imagine in the face of darkness, they chose to come together to resolve their differences and to celebrate. It's a stark contrast to the fear and dread commonly associated with eclipses. These myths show that even in the face of fear and uncertainty, our ancestors sought ways to bring about positive change. They used the eclipse as a catalyst for unity, reconciliation, and celebration. It's a lesson that continues to resonate, reminding us of the power of perspective and the enduring human spirit. As time progressed, the shroud of mystery surrounding solar eclipses gradually lifted. The advent of astronomy ushered in a new era of understanding. Ancient astronomers began to recognize patterns in the seemingly random dance of celestial bodies. They noticed the regularity of eclipses and, most importantly, they learned to predict them. In ancient Babylon, the earliest astronomers used simple arithmetic to predict lunar eclipses, laying the groundwork for more complex calculations. Meanwhile, the Greeks, indomitable thinkers that they were, sought to understand the why behind these celestial events. Thales of Miletus, one of the 7 sages of Greece, correctly postulated that solar eclipses occurred when the moon passed between the Earth and the sun, obscuring our view. Over in China, records of solar and lunar eclipses date back more than 4,000 years. These observations helped Chinese astronomers to develop sophisticated mathematical models of the heavens and accurately predict future eclipses. Yet, the journey to understanding was not a smooth one. In many societies, the old myths persisted alongside the new scientific understanding, reflecting the deep-seated human need to make sense of the world around us. As centuries turned into millennia, our knowledge of the universe deepened. With the invention of the telescope, astronomers could observe the sun, moon, and stars in unprecedented detail. They discovered that eclipses were not omens or divine punishments, but natural phenomena governed by the laws of physics. Today we can predict eclipses with pinpoint accuracy, down to the exact second they will occur and where they will be visible. We've sent spacecraft to the moon and beyond, capturing stunning images of solar eclipses from space. We've harnessed the power of the sun in solar panels, and we study the sun's corona during eclipses to understand more about our life-giving star. So the next time you witness a solar eclipse, remember the rich tapestry of myths and beliefs that our ancestors wove to explain this celestial spectacle, and marvel at how far we've come in our understanding of the universe.